Michael Fallon, it's a straightforward bribe. This will help councils say yes to your project for fracking.
No, I think it's just being fair to local people and to local communities. Otherwise, the profits would go back to the companies involved, or the benefit would go straight to the Treasury. This gives local people and local communities the chance, as well as getting the extra jobs and growth, the chance to maintain or improve local services. And I think that's only fair.
Right, because there are government cuts. I mean, you say that instead of it going to the Treasury are going to get an awful lot of extra tax revenues as a result of this. And we've seen protesters already at a site complaining about future potential fracking, and this is going to make no difference to those communities whatsoever.
No, I don't accept that. There's already money being offered by the developers for each wellhead site for the exploration, £100,000. There is 1% of the revenues, as you said, if the gas flows. That could mean up to £10 million per site. And today we've announced that local communities will be able to keep all of the business rates. So there's a strong interest here for local people and local communities that are affected by the search for shale gas. And I hope all of these things will encourage that search to get underway now.
But it's being promised as the holy grail of our energy supply in the future. Is it really going to solve all our problems?
It's made a huge difference in the United States. It's cut bills for industry, it's cut bills for households.
OK, so it's going to cut bills. When's it going to cut bills for us if it goes ahead?
It has in the United States.
Yeah, but when will it cut bills for us?
We already know that there's an awful lot underneath us, which we didn't know before. It's going to take 2 or 3 years of exploration, but what would be irresponsible is not to encourage companies to go down there and see if they can get it out, just as they've got it out in the United States.
Yeah, but even Ed Davey has said it's not going to bring down energy prices for a very long time, if at all, certainly in the near future. So by claiming that it is going to bring down our energy prices by comparing it to the United States is disingenuous.
No, we don't yet know. It took a long time in the United States. We don't know whether it can be the same here as in the United States. All we do know is we've got 2 or 3 times more of this shale gas than was originally estimated, hundreds of millions of cubic feet. So what would be irresponsible is not to encourage companies to go down there and explore and see if they can get it out. And it could, I repeat, could make a huge difference to our economy.
But it's a great big gamble, isn't it? And Greenpeace says fracking leads to the industrialisation of our green and pleasant land. You are prepared to gamble that and potential safety concerns about water contamination on the promise that sometime in the future our energy prices might come down on fracking.
It's a gamble by the companies concerned, including some of the very big companies that are now coming in and prepared to invest millions in this search. But it's not a gamble with the environment. It'll be very strictly regulated here. They will have to have proper permissions to protect the environment and to make sure that any drilling that's done is safe and does not harm the local community.
Right. Well, you say the regulation and that you're doing enough to make sure fracking is safe. But Lord Stern, who led the review on the economics of global warming, has criticised the government for encouraging a rush into fracking without a thorough analysis of all its potential ramifications, such as water pollution and earthquakes. You don't know.
Well, we do. We have experience elsewhere. There is plenty of hundreds of thousands of wells have been drilled or fractured in other countries around the world. We've had onshore drilling in Britain for both oil and gas since the end of the First World War. We already have a system of regulation in place, and I can assure you we're going to take very great care that there is no damage to the water supply and that there aren't risks involved in the fracturing before any of it's allowed to go ahead.
Right, you've still got to convince some of your own side. The Conservative MP Ben Wallace has described the government's offer on shale gas, this being to councils, as crumbs from the table, and that the Treasury would take 63% tax from each shale site.
Well, £10 million for a well site once the gas flows is certainly not crumbs from the table.
Sorry, £10 million. Where's I thought up to £1.7 million was quoted for one council.
For the business rate retention, but then £10 million for the 1% of revenue once the gas begins to flow. So these are actually quite formidable sums of money for each of the local communities. But above all, exploration of shale gas that's successful could have a huge impact on communities in terms of jobs, in terms of business and in terms of growth. So this is an opportunity. We don't yet know whether it can reduce prices as it's done in the United States. What we do know is there are plenty of companies out there who want to go ahead and explore, and we should be encouraging that.